Hey everybody, so this is going to be week 3 and 4. So 3 is about sacred space, and it says specifically altar, about your altar, I think, and I did a video on that. I'll link it here. But I guess in general, my apartment is like my sacred space. It's just mine, I'm the only one that lives here, so everything about it is just me and my special place, and it's just it's my place where I can practice safely and feel comfortable. So this is my sacred space. So that's all I have to say about that. So week 4, talking about how I feel about the Wheel of the Year. And let me tell you, I feel fantastic about the Wheel of the Year. It's actually one of my very most favorite parts about Wicca. I had an Anthropology 101 professor kind of express how he's saddened by the cynicism around holidays and the lack of desire to celebrate them, that holidays are a great way for people to come together, just as families or, neighborhoods, just society in general, something that we can all link together and celebrate and just have all these great traditions and everything. Like, he's right. And I felt that way about holidays. I like celebrating all kinds of holidays. Let's start with Yule. Yule is definitely my favorite Sabbath. And it's because I love Christmas so much. I guess I love Christmas so much because my family has always made a huge deal about it. My father is obsessed with Christmas. He listens to Christmas music all year long. Let me tell you, I get pretty gung-ho about Christmas music. I like the old Bing Crosby, Frank Sinatra, and then I like the religious Christmas music. My favorite one is Oh Holy Night. With that love of Christmas, it translates into my love for Yule because there's so much in common with it. Christmas is generally the celebration of winter in a secular way. It's very similar to the Wiccan celebration of Yule as divine birth. So it's a time where the sun is essentially born and then the days are about to become longer. So it's a divine birth. Actually, last Christmas I did go to Catholic Mass because I just wanted to be a part of it. I was gonna worship my God being born around that time. Different God, different day, but generally the same thing, and I liked it. Man, a lot of things about Catholic Church has changed. And then we move on to Imbolc. Time of just the spark of life, the spark of something new. Great time for initiation. I did my self-dedication on Imbolc 2015. The god is seen as a young lad. Just the spark of him is showing through. Spark of life is kind of showing through the snow. Sometimes. And then we get to Ostara. Life is in full swing. It's the spring equinox, first day of spring. Things are blooming. It's beautiful. And the god becomes an insufferable teenager. That's where he is in his stage of life. He's becoming sexually viable. And then we go to Beltane. And he is ready to receive the goddess. He is a man. He is ready to commit into a beautiful union. And that is the time of Beltane, is beautiful unions and romance and all that kind of stuff. And that's when the god marries the goddess and impregnates her with himself. Sounds familiar. And then we go to Litha, where he is at the height of his power. He's at his most virile because it is the longest day of the year, the most powerful that the sun is. So that is the celebration of the god being at the tippy top, that he is peaked and will therefore start his decline. And then we get to Lammas, and that is the first harvest. And that is the first step of the god sacrificing the fruits of his virility, I guess. The power that he has collected through his life, he is giving to the earth, to the creatures, to the humans to enjoy. And then that's the first harvest, particularly about wheat and making bread and all that kind of stuff. And Lammas is actually the first holiday that I really honestly celebrated. And I love that holiday. To make bread from scratch and to share it with your family it's a very spiritual thing, and I really like it. And then we have Mabon, the full harvest. That's where things are in full swing, and he's really sacrificing, he's really giving unto the earth. and he's really starting his decline. And then we go to Samhain, where he dies. Samhain is a very important day for witches, specifically because traditionally it's the whole idea of the veil being thin between the physical and the spiritual world. It is an acknowledgement of death where we reference or pay homage to our ancestors, those in our family that have passed on. It's a celebration of death being a part of life, and not something to be afraid of, but something to embrace. And then we go all the way back to Yule again, where the god is born. And the allegory of this cycle of the life of the god and the goddess is just so goddamn beautiful. It's like, it's really something that makes me feel very connected to the god and the goddess in general as I try to commune with them. So I really reference these cycles. So I refer to the goddess as being, the mother goddess as being the fertile soil for life of the god. And the god is a life. But he's also, and he's the horned god. And he's also the sun god. And then I guess you call her mother goddess, earth goddess. She's also the moon goddess. So they have those two different aspects to me. And it's really in relation to the cycles. So I love the Wheel of the Year. It makes me feel very passionate about Wicca. It's beautiful. I love it. So that's how I feel about the Wheel of the Year. Thanks for watching, and blessed be.